What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Listen. Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? Hey, Diva. What's up, little baby? Welcome. Little baby, you never told me whether this product is something that I'm gonna want. I don't remember you saying whether I was gonna want it or not because I need to know whether to have my coin ready. And you need to. I know you can't tell me what it is. I respect your job situation, but tell me if it's something I'm gonna want and then tell me when I need to have my coin ready and where I need to be in the store, or either go online. Okay, boo? Listen, we're doing something a little different. We are gonna still have our tribe meeting later on today. But baby, I was watching this press conference and I said, we need to talk about this. Okay. Bishop Whitehead, what type of fall fragrances do I like? I don't know. Hey Sam J, is it a lot of like y'all coming out with a lot of like pumpkin spice stuff, like the pumpkin stuff? Is that what it is? Um yeah, I just don't like flowery stuff. I love all of that stuff. Child, he had a press conference, and let me say this. He was better off. See, you know how guilty people get caught? And I'm not saying he guilty. I'm saying, do you know how guilty people get caught? Guilty people get caught because they can't shut their damn mouth. You know what I found? What was taught to me when you are, for example, y'all know I deal with churn. Okay, it might be up my alley. Okay, well, boo, listen, just tell me what I need to have and when I need to have it. You don't have to tell me. Again, I know you can't violate, Right. Dr. Liquor Cam, they talk too much. And see, when I'm talking to students and I'm like something happened, let's say there was a fight, right? And I'm trying to get to the bottom of what happened and who did what. The person who do the most talking is usually the person that's the most guilty. And you know what I do when they start talking? And I just let them talk because inevitably they gonna say too much. Now, Bishop Whitehead, because people like him love attention. People like him they never learned the lesson that was taught to us that all all attention. Okay, let me rewind. Some people don't care whether it's good attention or bad attention. They just like the attention. He's one of those people that just likes the attention, and he's been getting so much attention this week because of the robbery, because of the feud with Larry Reed, and now some of his business is being out there. We're gonna talk about that too. Because I was gonna do this during the tribe meeting, but I felt like I owed it to y'all to bring y'all this press conference. We're only gonna look at about 15 minutes, but we're gonna look at it together. I'm gonna narrate as we're looking at it because I felt like I could not do it justice. Me telling y'all, it wasn't gonna do it justice. So I feel like y'all need to see what I saw. Y'all need to hear what I heard. Okay. So let's get into a little bit of this. Like I said, this is something a little different. Y'all know I normally don't do this, but we have our quick drops. I feel like we're gonna start calling these our quick talks, right? Where I'm gonna just come on for about 15-20 minutes and talk about one particular topic, and we can just deal with that. And then when I have our tribe meetings, it'll be more of a group conversation like we've been doing, right? But I just felt like this was something because if I didn't have something to do earlier today, I would have come on here earlier today to talk about this Martell Sheree Candy situation. But we're gonna talk about that during the tribe meeting. But y'all, let's get into this. Let's get into this press conference. Now I took this straight from his Instagram. Straight from his Instagram. Okay.
And as I took off my jewelry and gave it to.
Okay. Bishop and Larry Reed been talking too much. Larry Reed is the one that put his business out there, so thus is what the church is doing now, messy. Yeah, and that's the thing. The reality of the situation is that case, even though it was public information, probably would not have come to our attention because we didn't know who this dude was. You know what I'm saying? So this is coming straight from his Instagram, okay? I did not alter it. I ain't do nothing to it, okay? This is the press conference that he had in front of his church in the middle of the day in Brooklyn. So I couldn't even start it from the beginning. And you know why I couldn't start it from the beginning? Because you couldn't hear nothing. Because the sound of the street was overcoming whatever he had to say. So first of all, my first critique is when you want to do something like this is something you should have done inside of your church, where you could control the sound, or you should have had a better sound system. I mean, you could have just listened. They sell speakers on at the damn Five Below store at this point in the game, when you could have just sync the speaker to your cell phone or something, and you could have amplified. Listen, the fact that we couldn't hear over the traffic on the street was already a problem. So I had to sort of start a few minutes into the press conference because the hell, you couldn't hear nothing. So, all right, let's go.
Two of them ran, one came back and started tapping my pockets. Then he ran off. And as soon as he turned his back and got to the door, I ran behind him. Because I wanted to be in front of my church.
So this is what he's saying. First of all, he's telling the story of the robbery again, which he has told 20,000 times. If you've been watching his Instagram, he has told this story 20,000 times. And that's another thing that's going to get him in trouble, because you keep adding to the story, sir. You keep adding to the story, which again is another indication that you ain't telling the truth, because listen, the truth don't change. The truth don't change. Okay? Hey, 2Ls. Hey, everybody coming in. What's up, What's up, Abby? Okay, so now he's saying that after they robbed him, as the robbers were running out of the church, he ran behind them. That's what you did, sir? You ran behind the dudes with the guns that just had the gun to your head. You got up off that ground and you ran behind them as they were leaving your church. That's what you did?
If they came back, they would hit me first. I wanted to protect my church.
He said because if they had come back, then they would have hit him first. Sir, I hate to be the one to tell you, and this is going to be very crass when I say it, but it's true. If their intention was to harm you, they would have done it before they left the church. They wouldn't have thought about it and said, oh, shoot, wait a minute. Maybe we should go back and shoot them. No, it would have happened. It would have happened.
And I began to go downstairs. I seen them through the window. Seeing them thundering across the street, wandering. And I jumped in my car.
So they were across the street wandering after they just robbed you. They were across the street wandering. Okay. All right, then.
I began to chase them, but I couldn't find them. And I drove up and down Avenue D.
So you jumped in your truck. You started to say truck, then you changed it up to car. And you chased them, but you couldn't find them. And you wandered up and down the street looking for them. Sir?
So I'm here today not to continue with this story because you heard it. But I'm here today because houses of worship need to be protected. We need to be protected. I want to go through just a few notes of mine. Because the media, for some reason, you portray black men as criminals. My church can't get no sympathy nor empathy. If you recall, 2 months ago, I turned in a young man that was wanted for murdering another young man on the Q train. The family called me. I told them that he must turn himself in.
Now, again, let me remind y'all, this was what he had streaming on his Instagram page. So this is the person that is doing the official streaming for his Instagram page. First of all, whoever's doing this finger is covering up part of the damn picture. Second of all, why are so many people in front of the person that this was on his official Instagram page. Okay. So I know I'm nitpicking. But if you're going to do a press conference, sir, I'm going to need you to be on point. I'm sorry.
And they agreed and they trusted me. And when we got to the end of the surrender, the media portrayed me as the bling bling bishop. They portrayed my car. They talked about my Fendi jacket. They talked about me. And they did not even want to talk anymore about what the bishop has done. This was a man that was wanted for murder. This was a man that was alleged to commit a crime against a New Yorker. One of, if not the greatest city in the world. And after that, my life changed. Because all the media started to plaster me, not as a bishop, but as a black man that was convicted, that has a felony. And nobody else wanted to talk about what Mr. Whitehead has done. Nobody wanted to talk about that the young man turned himself in and surrendered. Everybody wanted to talk about the bling bling bishop that the media portrayed. And then they wanted to go, oh, he was convicted for scheme to defraud, grand larceny. And then, as a black man, they always bring up our past. They always bring up our past. But they don't want to say that Bishop Whitehead was illegally convicted. They don't want to say that.
Sir, illegally convicted. See, he keeps saying this illegally convicted thing. Illegally convicted according to whom? Just because you say it? Because 99% of the people in jail say that they are illegally convicted. So just because you said I need to see the documents where you were exonerated. I need to see the documents where they said that you were illegally convicted. You said that they falsified affidavits. You said that you went to jail illegally. Sir, nobody told us that. I need to hear that from the governor where you were pardoned. And if it exists, then correct me in the chat. If that happened, correct me in the chat. Because you went to jail, sir.
They forged search warrants in order to convict me. They don't want to talk about how they hid all the evidence and lied to my attorneys to convict me. But everybody wants to talk about that I went to prison. Typical black man. Let's talk about my father, Arthur Miller, who was killed when I was 6 weeks old, beat and strangled to death by 16 police officers by the 77th precinct. And I had to grow up without a father. I didn't have nobody to teach me how to be a man because of the color of my father's skin. But yet, my church, nobody can empathize or sympathize with us. You want to know why? Because you're plastering their pastor, his past. And nobody wants to talk about these three men that came into this church and violated us. We are a house of worship. It doesn't matter if we're black, brown, white, Asian. It doesn't matter. Why are we missing the point? Why isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely valid. It is absolutely valid that he could have been wrongfully convicted. What I'm saying is I can't take your word for it that you were wrongfully convicted. Like, just because you saying it, everybody that go to jail say that they didn't do it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. The 77th precinct is legendary for horrible. Yeah. And again, I'm sorry to hear about what happened to his father. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't even gonna talk about that. I ain't even mentioning that. You know what I'm saying? Now your whole story so far, everything has been about the fact that they prosecute black men, black this, black that. Now it don't matter whether your church was black, Asian, or whatever. It don't matter. It don't matter. Sorry, I had two dads and they weren't worth the issue. That's not. I don't mean to be laughing. I'm not laughing at the fact that I'm just laughing at what you said. I'm sorry. All right.
enough media talking about what happened to my church. My wife has not stopped crying. My daughter has not stopped crying yet. My members have not stopped crying yet. Nobody's empathizing with my church. They don't even want to come to church no more. I was on the phone with one of my preachers. She said, Bishop, I'm scared to answer the phone. It just brings so much anxiety. They're beating up on you, Bishop. What are we supposed to do? I'm a black man in America. Every time I get in my car, I don't know if I'm going to come home because we die for less. So today, I want to bring our attention to a few points, and I'm going to open it for questions. Everybody is setting a narrative that all of this, it was $1 million, it was 400,000, all that's garbage. Nobody can quote that I said that. But to sell newspapers and to sell media, y'all put whatever number you want on its face. And I don't get the opportunity to defend myself. $1 million worth of jury in all the tabloids. Why would a pastor have that? What about his congregation? And then you posterize if I wear a Fendi suit or Gucci suit. Why is...
First of all, I don't know what he meant to say in that moment. He said posterized. I don't know if he meant to say they was posterizing him because, yeah. Yeah. I don't even know what he meant to say in that moment. But I need y'all to remember what he said just a minute ago when he said that he doesn't even get a chance to defend himself. The media said that it was $400,000 or $1 million worth of jewelry, but he doesn't even get the chance to defend himself. That comes back later. I just want y'all to I want y'all to remember him saying he doesn't get a chance to defend himself.
Fendi, Louis, and Gucci. Why can't we wear that in the church? What's wrong with that?
Cost so much.
What's wrong with that? Because we believe God for hope.
You got the money for it.
We believe God for hope. We believe God for transparency. We believe God to change our lives. My mother was on welfare. I remember, I don't know how old y'all are, but I was born in 1978 where I had to get the pack of food stamps. The purple, the yellow, the brown, the rainbow book. And I had to go and use food stamps. So now I'm able to buy a little finer things for me and my family. And now you crucify me.
As you should.
Now you crucify me. And everybody say, how in the world can you come to a destitute neighborhood and wear these garments? Well, I don't see this neighborhood as destitute. I see this neighborhood as growing. With men leading neighborhoods like this, it will be changed. I wear what I wear to encourage people, not to laugh at people.
So you wear what you wear to encourage the parishioners in your church that may or may not be able to afford it. That's what you're doing? That's why you wear the Louis and the Fendi and the Gucci, because you encouraging? Okay.
My community work speaks for itself. I am the biggest pastor in New York City of my giveaways. Last year, I shut down.
Sir, he said he's the biggest pastor in New York as far as his giveaways. I would beg to differ. I would beg to differ that he's the biggest pastor in New York when it comes to his giveaways. I just don't think I'm going to call BS on that one.
On Thanksgiving, and I spent $25,000 to feed 30 families.
I don't know this to be a fact. I do not know this to be a fact, but I would venture to guess that Hezekiah Walker's church gave away more than $25,000 worth of turkey. I'm gonna venture to guess that there were churches in New York that fed more than 25 families at Thanksgiving. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't believe that to be true in the whole city, much less state of New York. But the whole city of New York, sir, I don't believe that. I'm just gonna call BS on that. I'm just going to do it.
Go buy what you want. The year before that, I did the same thing. Google it. You'll see it. Every Christmas, I give away thousands of toys. Where is that in the media? Where is that in the tabloids? I go to prisons. I have gang walks.
You go to prison to visit your friends? I'm sorry.
Gang members call me and ask me for advice. I bring gang members to talk to captains and inspectors. I bridge the gap between the streets, the church, and politics. Where is that in the media? Why do we always gotta tear black men down? I don't see y'all talking about Joel Osteen and his jets.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that's not true because Joel Osteen gets it. And y'all know that Joel Osteen gets it. Joel Osteen gets it because remember how they drug him after that flood and he opened up the church? They get Joel Osteen. They question Joel Osteen and his spending and his money. So don't act like this only a black thing because it ain't. It ain't.
His houses. I don't see y'all talking about his tailored suits. But as soon as a black man has a tailored suit, he's a criminal. And y'all build a narrative. Oh, he was in prison. And he must have knew something about a robbery. Are you kidding me? Let my church give us some sympathy. Empathize with us in this season. This only happened 5 days ago. We're mourning. We're hurting. We had to get on the floor. So why y'all making the pastor get on the floor? Why y'all beating me up like this? Why are you doing what you're doing? So,
okay, let me pause right here. He says we're beating up on him. Why are we doing him like this? Why are we doing him like this? Sir, you started all of this when you went on to Larry Reid's live and decided that you was going to cuss him out, call him a homophobic slur, call that woman fat, and you, because you could have just as easily either A, you could have ignored Larry Reid, you didn't have to go up there, you didn't have to say nothing, or B, you could have went up there with love and said, listen, brother, I really don't appreciate, like we really feeling some kind of way right now. I'm traumatized. My family is traumatized. Like, you opened up this Pandora's box when you decided you was going to cuss Larry Reid out publicly on his Instagram. The rest of this stuff, none of us knew you, sir. None of us knew you. We didn't know nothing about you until you getting robbed went viral. We didn't know you. But once you decided to cuss Larry Reid out and that went viral, then everybody started getting in your business. I'm just saying.
When we look at tabloids and you guys say, well, the reason why his church got robbed was because of his lifestyle, because of the clothes he wear and the jewelry he has. Well, I want to take you back to June 17th. In 2015, 9 people were killed during a worship service at Emmanuel African Methodist Church in South Carolina.
This is where I said, I'm going to have to let y'all see this for yourself because y'all would not believe me when I told you that he started comparing what happened to him to what happened at Emmanuel Church down in South Carolina. I didn't even want to repeat it because I just think this part is appalling. But I'm going to let y'all hear it so y'all know I ain't lying and I ain't exaggerating.
Pastor didn't have chains. That pastor didn't have a nice car. But yet they prayed, P-R-E-Y-E-D. They are praying on our church. What about in 2017, another black church in Texas? 26 church members died and 20 wounded because they walked in our church and did what they wanted to do. This is the first time this ever happened in New York City. The first time ever. So therefore, if we don't protect our houses of worship, they're going to be copycat crimes just like this. And I want to call on the governor, I want to call on the mayor, I want to call on the Congress, the council, and the assembly. They need to pass a law expeditiously that pastors of houses of worship and anyone under the ecclesiastical staff need to be able to have permits for firearms.
I just want to make sure y'all heard what he just said. He is calling on the state of New York to allow pastors and all members of the pastor's staff to be able to carry a weapon.
Teachers can have it, we should be able to have it.
He said because if teachers can have it, we should be able to have it. As a teacher, I don't want it. I'm just,
No matter if we have a record, it should be exempt because we've changed our life. And you said, well, why do you have to carry pistols? And why can't you have security? Well, some churches are too small to afford armed security. So we should be able.
Sir, you say, why does it matter what you're walking around in? You can't tell me that you can drive a $500,000 car, live in a $2 million home, wear hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry and clothing, and you can't afford a security guard.
To bear arms like the Constitution said. So I want to close out with we are.
And did y'all catch the part where he said, regardless of whether they're a felon or not, meaning let me carry a gun, because he a felon. So even if they were to pass a law like that, which is totally ridiculous, you would still be exempt, sir, because you're a convicted felon. Yeah.
Our brother's keeper. And I'm asking the media today. I called this emergency press conference because
hey, Tabitha.
The leading story around the world is Bishop Whitehead. You Google Bishop Whitehead. Everybody's trending off of Bishop Whitehead. But Bishop Whitehead goes home and cries because I'm the victim. My church is the victim. But the media is portraying me to be a villain. And it's not fair. Let us mourn a little bit. Let us thank God a little bit that there was no fatality at all. So I'm going to open the floor for questions, and I'm going to answer it to my best knowledge and based off of what I've conversated with my attorney.
2 questions, please.
Bishop, what do you have to say? Did you, based on what the woman in the lawsuit accused you of stealing $90,000 life savings, did you do that, and what is your response?
Well, today, as one of the CBS reporters so kindly brought to our attention, and my attorney also brought to my attention, we gained a victory today. We gained a victory today. Y'all do your own research, but I can't get into the legality of this fictitious claim against me. So we gained a victory today. So everybody that's been posting about Bishop, I want y'all to understand that y'all see the true man of God. Y'all can paint me the way y'all want to paint me, but we gained a victory today, and I'm gonna leave it right there.
And also, have you spoken with the mayor since yesterday?
Yes.
What did you talk about?
2 questions.
He just encouraged me to keep my head strong.
So actually, the numbers, the 400,000 and the 1 million, they come straight from the NYPD. That's how we're recruited. And I actually asked the NYPD how they got those numbers. They said the victim of the crime reports the numbers. So I was wondering, first, how did the $400,000 number come up, and then how did it go up to $1 million?
You have to ask the NYPD for that.
I'm trying to ask you.
No, I'm telling you to ask them.
So, in case y'all didn't hear what she just said, she said, because he had said earlier about the numbers of the jewelry that, the fact that he doesn't have an opportunity, he didn't get an opportunity to defend himself as regards to the amount, the value of, oh, thank you, Gamblers Anonymous. So she said, well, we got those numbers. The media got those numbers directly from the NYPD, meaning that's what he told the police. The police, again, the police could have made it up, but she's saying the NYPD said they got, to ask you where those numbers came from, as far as it being $400,000 worth of jewelry. And now he's saying, well, you got to ask the NYPD where they got it from. And she's like, but they told us to ask you. And he was like, well, you got to ask them. But he literally just said 10 minutes ago that he hasn't had an opportunity to defend himself, that the media made those numbers up. And now she's saying, okay, clear it up. Tell us where the numbers came from. And he won't answer it.
That's the question we're not going to address at this time.
Yeah. So next,
And that's Brian Humper.
Is there a more accurate number that we can report?
My legal team told me do not get into the value of any property.
So another reporter says, well, is there a more accurate number? Because again, the media is like, help us help you. Is there a more accurate number that we can report? And now he's saying, well, my legal team said, I can't say nothing. It's only a few more minutes, y'all, because again, I cut it off at a certain point and you'll see why, but it's only a few more minutes.
So you guys do your research. You guys do what you have to do, but those numbers are inaccurate.
Hey, Jose.
Were the items insured?
You have to. That's a legal question. Anybody have a question? Go ahead,
The Department of Interfaith in regards
I can't hear you, ma'am.
Have you spoken to the Department of Interfaith in regards to the situation of the women?
Well, we have really been taking our time, because this has been a traumatic experience. So I've been having my church in therapy this week. So my main focus right now is to make sure that my church is okay, and all of those meetings will come. All of those meetings will proceed. I'm hoping that the governor will reach out to me so we can have a sit down. Since I am the first pastor to ever be robbed in history in New York City, so I'm waiting for the governor to.
Sir, listen. Every time I was getting ready to stop the recording, he would say something. Did y'all hear what this man just said? He said he is the first pastor in the history of New York to be robbed. Sir, you ain't even the first pastor on that street to be robbed, much less New York. Sir, the first pastor of New York to be robbed? When he said that, I was like, where's he getting this from?
Reach out to me. I'm also with all elected officials that can pass laws, sit down with me, and I'm definitely going to address that.
So, before you helped turn the young man in after the shooting on the subway, I remember when last year you ran, of course, for Brooklyn Borough President. And during that campaign, you accepted a loan, $150,000 from a woman down in Miami, Josette Bayoro. Just wondering how you know her and why you did not repay her.
Thank you so much.
Read back that
At
loan.
this present time, Bishop will no longer be answering any more questions. We appreciate
You said
your
two
time.
questions a person.
Have a good day.
I didn't even get.
So because basically, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so listen, that's where I cut it off. It was about another maybe 10 minutes after that. But that's where I cut it off because she sort of shut it down, and then he said, "Well, no, let me keep talking. I want to finish answering questions." But as you can see, he really wasn't answering a lot of questions. So I'm gonna just let you. I'm gonna just read you guys a little bit of what he said after that because I was like, "Child." He said that he does not take a salary from his church, so it should not matter what he wears, how he dresses. It doesn't come from the church, right? He said that he has multiple streams of income that is outside of the church. So then somebody asked him, okay, well, if you know how to make that kind of money, right? You're not taking a salary from the church, yet you got the kind of money you have. what are you doing to help your people? Essentially, I mean, I'm paraphrasing. So his response was, he does teach free classes, and he teaches them classes on real estate and on investments. Now, this is where he talked too much. This is where he talked too much, and he shouldn't have had this whole press conference. But this is really where he should have shut up, because then he said, and I teach people how to invest their money, and I don't make anybody invest their money. They do what they invest, what they want to invest, and they because that's what the $90,000 is. This woman who claims that she took his $90,000 in her life savings, she's saying because he was supposed to be investing it. Sir, you're talking too much. You are talking too much. Yes, Tabitha, it is a whole clown show. Y'all, like I said, I didn't think that I could do this justice by just coming down here and telling y'all what this man said. Y'all needed to see it. I know I took about 30 minutes of your day. Okay. But y'all needed to see this because I couldn't make this up. I can't make this stuff up, child. Anyway, listen. Pastor Whitehead, Bishop Whitehead, and I don't even want to call you pastor or bishop no more. I need to find out who made you a bishop. Who said you was a bishop? That's what I need to know. I need to know where that came from, that somebody said you was a bishop. But neither here nor there. That was his press conference today, honey. Child, I don't know what else to say. To say. We will be having our regularly scheduled tribe meeting at 6:30, and at 6:30 I'm going to share y'all the information about this $90,000 lawsuit. Okay, we're going to do that at 6:30 with the $90,000 lawsuit. We'll discuss that, child. Other than that, he would be a good match for Marlo or Sheree. Listen, Mims, honey. But we'll be back at 6:30, and at 6:30 we're going to talk all about Martell Holt being a shyster, Sheree, and how Candy done exposed all of them. Child, Candy be sneak snitching. Y'all gotta watch Candy Birds. Candy Birds be sneak snitching, y'all. You right, Gamblers Anonymous. He ain't even listen. First of all, he should have never had the press conference, but he certainly shouldn't have had it in front of that. What was that? A mess. It was a whole mess. I'll be back in about an hour and a half. I'll be back around 6:30, and we're gonna talk about this $90,000 lawsuit. We're gonna talk about Sheree, and we're gonna get some updates on Brittany Griner. We have a little update on Brittany Griner. And so I'll talk to y'all then. Thank y'all for coming through. Mwah. Hit that like button on your way out. I see y'all in about an hour and a half, child. That was the block he say he owns. I don't know, because he did say he bought a whole block. I don't know if that's the block he say he owned or not, child. I don't know. All right, I'll see y'all in about an hour and a half.